Here we go, it's the Cop-Eye Podcast.
What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another team news reaction. Liverpool team news just come out, and the biggest news is that Ozan Kabak is making his Premier League debut and his Liverpool debut. Team is Alisson, Trent, Kabak, Hendo, Robertson, Gini, Jones, Milner, Mane, Salah, Firmino. Subs are Adrian, Thiago, Ox, Simicast, Shaq, Reece Williams, Phillips, Clarkson and Neil Williams. Thoughts on that, Jay? I think we were obviously talking last night about we wanted Kabak to start, but we wanted Kabak and Davies to start and just fucking go for it. But we kind of thought Klopp would play it a little bit safe and go Kabak and Hendo, didn't we, really?
Yeah, he always plays it safe. And, it's one thing saying you want this to happen. It's another thing of saying, well, Klopp's always going to play it safe because he doesn't want to. Because, for example, if both of them do play and we end up getting battered, then he's going to get crucified for it. So, they're like, oh, we didn't have the stability of Henderson and the regular and he's played centre-back for a while, but you can't win because it's like, we'll moan because he's not been in midfield. So, yeah, at least one of them's in there. But, again, it doesn't really matter now because Fabinho isn't in midfield and Henderson isn't in midfield. So, what we've been hoping for and praying for has just fucking gone out the window. So, yeah, disappointed that Davies isn't in there as well. But let's just see what happens. But pleased for Kabak, though. It'd be nice to see him, see how he gets on. That's
what I mean. At least we've got now a centre-back in there who's of good quality. I mean, he's young, but he's on loan. At the end of the day, he needs to come in and show what he's made of in order to try and make a permanent move happen. So these type of games up against a tough opposition where we do need to win. It's a good test for him, isn't it? But we'll go through Leicester's team as well while we're here. So in goal, Schmeichel, Amati, Evans, Soyuncu, Pereira, Tielemans, Ndidi, Albrighton, Maddison, Vardy, Barnes. So I don't even know what formation that is. 3-4-3 with Pereira and Albrighton as wing backs. No idea.
Albrighton is our James Milner, isn't he? For Leicester, stalwart. So it's going to be rough and ready in the midfield. So expect that'd be a nice, interesting battle at see in midfield today because obviously we spoke to Neil last night, didn't he? He said that he's confident of Leicester's midfield. So that's quite interesting today. Again, massive day for Milner in terms of starting a game again. The age that he is at the minute, and it's a tough ground to go to. And it's one of them gritty English games today. There's not going to be a lot of flair, I don't think. Jones, he'll play his part as well. Again, it's a massive shout for him because obviously everyone was saying about Jones coming off against City, how everyone was disappointed that Jones came off. So again, if he plays like he did against City, then we could have the edge in that midfield today.
Yeah, and it's like I imagine Millie's going to be the left of the three, isn't it? It's going to be probably Gini sitting again, Millie on the left, and then Curtis Jones on the right. But especially Pereira and Albrighton, the non-stop, aren't they, in terms of work rate? So Millie and Curtis Jones don't have the work cut out in that regard. But it's going to be an interesting battle because their midfield is good. Like Tielemans and Ndidi, like really good quality, and they're good. Ndidi's boss. I'd love him at Liverpool. And then you've got
Milner's in there, mate. What you've just said, then that'll be why Milner's in because of the running.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's why he's perfect for these type of games. I mean, he's played quite a few, didn't he, when we were winning and stuff. And obviously we've lost a couple since then. But when he's came in, he's been great. But I can't wait to see Kabak. I mean, did Neil say something about he's worried about Kabak on corners because they're not very good on corners? He was saying that he's worried about Kabak's aerial threat. Well, imagine he gets a debut goal today. That'll be the stuff dreams are made of. And if you make your debut and score on your debut, a certain Virgil van Dijk, then the omens are good for you.
Yeah.
But
before we move on there, mate, let's just look at the comment that Dan's just put. He said, "Right, lads, Dan, as always, mate, thanks for being with us. I'm really excited for this day. And Davies clearly isn't standard in Klopp's eyes. I don't know about that. I would probably think in a normal world, Klopp would bed, a player of Davies' standard, cut up for the Championship into a game where we might have a bit of a gap in terms of, say for example, we end up cementing a 6 to 8 point gap in the top four where we won't drop out of it. That's where Davies would probably come in. I wouldn't think, because we've wanted Davies and Kabak to come in straight from the off, haven't we? But again, it was only ever going to be one of them because we need that stability with Hendo. And I think obviously with Kabak playing more higher level football in the Bundesliga and Champions League. I think that's why he's got the nod. So Dan, I certainly see where you're coming from. I don't know if I don't think Klopp's making his mind up already over Davies. I really don't think that's the case. I could be wrong, but he hasn't been in the squads, has he? And he's not in the squad now. So it's again, Dan could have a point. I'm probably talking shit again.
No, I think we've bought two, and I mean we've got no centre backs left, so we want both to get put in. But if he can he likes to bed them in slowly, doesn't he, Klopp? So if he can do it with Kabak, and like you said, he's played the highest standard of football, so he should be able to. It should be an easier adaptation to Premier League football for him than it should be for Davis. You would think, but the fact that Davis isn't.
What about, Mick, your opinion of him not being on the bench? Is that something? Because like Dan could look into that. It's a good point, but we've got Phillips and Williams back on the bench. So what's the crack?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if he's trying to maybe do what he usually does with signings in terms of get them up to speed, and maybe. Well, I imagine he does like little tests here and there to see how they react to certain things, and if they're not reacting in the right way, he doesn't put them in. I think if they're not in the right position, if they need a bit more time to learn it, be in the right position, play what ball when, know who's in space when, and where to look, where to pass, where to be, where to head it, where to whatever. I imagine it's quite detailed in that regard. So if he's not doing that in training, and Klopp thinks he needs a bit more time, the fact that he's leaving him out is probably better, because we don't want him to come in and make mistakes. And in a game of this, not magnitude, but like it's quite a big game that we need to go and win today. So we don't want any mistakes in there. And if he thinks Kabak's more up to it, which he thinks he is, if he's putting him in there straight away, then yeah, it's good news. But what's Martin saying there? Interesting to see how Kabak goes with no recognised striker up against them and no Thiago. Isn't Vardy playing?
Yeah, I don't know if Weezy's being sarcastic there. But yeah, Weezy's point still stands though, doesn't it, with the Kabak against Vardy? Because if you're going to come up against a striker in your first game, what a fucking striker to come up against. You know what I mean? It is a threat, and you know, if Leicester are very good at getting the ball into Vardy, and that's why he's done so well yet again. And Maddison's incredible, and Harvey Barnes is incredible. So it will be interesting. Obviously, the no Thiago thing. We got that news, didn't we, sort of late last night, the fact that Thiago probably wouldn't be in the squad, but he is. He makes the bench. I doubt he plays unless we are a goal behind. If we're winning the game, we're controlling it. I doubt we see him.
No, I agree. I think it's he's trying to take him off the firing line, isn't he, a little bit? I think, but you couldn't really take him out the squad. I mean, if we, like you said, if we need him, he's a good option to have maybe last 10 minutes. If we need an equaliser, hopefully not. But like if we need a winner or whatever, we've got that quality for someone to come and bring someone off the bench like that. So I understand that one. But we've got the likes of Shaq on the bench as well, and Ox and players like that can come in and make a difference. Even Tsimikas, who is just kind of, I don't know what's happened to him. I mean, he's had a load of injuries, hasn't he? He came on for Robbo, didn't he, against City the last 10 minutes. So I don't know what's going on. I was really excited for when he first joined, and it's obviously he's had a lot of injury problems. That's stunted his progression so far, but I'm hoping he will start to get a bit more time in the team. I imagine he will at some point, because we've got Leipzig coming up, we've got Everton coming up. Games are fucking coming thick and fast, aren't they? So no, it's gonna. I've been watching like a load of Kabak on YouTube and that the last couple of days, just to kind of see what he's about and stuff. And I'm so interested. That's why I'm looking forward to seeing today, coming up against Vardy and Barnes and Maddison. Yeah. Really creative, fast, direct. He's going to need to be positionally good. Apparently he's got good pace, which I've seen in the clips I've watched, but you don't know how that's going to relate to Premier League footy, do you? So it's going to be an interesting one, isn't it?
It is, mate. It's always exciting when a new player comes in, especially in the position that we're all clamouring for at the minute. And you know, Kabak might be quite encouraged at the fact that Upamecano has clearly chosen Bayern Munich as his destination next year. Because obviously we've not got the obligation to buy Kabak, so he's potentially playing for his future at Liverpool. So he needs to hit the ground running, because if he does, and he does do well between now and the end of the season, we've got that partner for Van Dijk when he comes back. You know, again, that's no disrespect to Joe Gomez, absolutely not. But again, his injuries are an issue, and it is a shame for him. And it's the same story for Matip. So we've always known, haven't we, as a fan base, that we do need to get that recognised partner for Virgil van Dijk, because even though Van Dijk's so good at playing with Matip for a handful of games and Gomez for a handful of games, he's done well since he's come in. But we do need that recognised centre-back, and Kabak has got the the ability to do that because he was our number one target at one point. He was our number one target.
Yeah, and I think availability is one of probably the best ability you could have for a club team. You need to be available, and if you're not, then what use are you? What?
And a podcast.
Yeah, it's just if you're not available, like Kate has been out, and I mean Yotta's only just came in, but he's out as well. Fabinho's out again. Origi's out today. Apparently he's got an hamstring injury, so he's going to be out for God knows how long. That doesn't bother me, like, but yeah, Kabak rates himself highly, very confident lad, backs himself in just about every scenario. Sometimes a little unnecessarily. That's from Dan.
Yeah. Nice. I didn't know that, Dan. So thanks for letting us know about that, mate. 'Cause I didn't know that. But I think self-confidence is so important in any walk of life. You know, you've got to be self-confident if you want to do anything. So to be fair to Kabak, if he does rate himself highly and backs himself, then So those people were saying, weren't they, about he's come from a relegation team in Bundesliga, and Schalke aren't always a relegation side. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them. They're normally up in the top tier of European foot competitions. And it takes to take away that player and put him in a better side to make them better. Southampton weren't, a top four side when Van Dijk was playing for him, but we all knew his quality. And then you put him in a side like Liverpool, and he's gone on to be the best centre back in the world. So, it swings around about. So I do agree with Dan there. If he does rate himself highly, then it's exciting.
Yeah, I think that's just a lazy argument, isn't it? Like, oh, look where they are in the league. That's an accurate representation of the player as a whole. Just because the team's doing shit, there's 10 other players that couldn't fucking do something about it. And it's more difficult if you're a defender to fix that. You've got to be the best of the best to go into a relegation side and lift them to a couple of places. Like, he's only 20 years of age. I mean, what I've seen of him, the little clips I have, like, he does look good in terms of like his self-confidence. He's good on the ball and whatever. The only thing I've noticed is he does that, like Dan says, he's a bit reckless sometimes, like backing himself, and then if he maybe over exit and goes in, and then he can get found out. So I don't know if that's I imagine that's something Klopp has worked on, maybe, or he will work on in future, in terms of it, maybe him diving in a bit too soon and then leaving us out a bit at the back. But in terms of pace-wise, he looks good. That's what I'm excited. I want a foot race straight away, Vardy and Kabak. I want to see what the fuck he's made of, because we expect such high levels. Like, Matip's pretty quick, Gomez is rapid, Van Dijk rapid. So we've just got that in our heads now, that when our centre backs are always quick, and Klopp won't bring a centre back in unless he has got pace. So I'm excited to see 100 metres, Gwen Vardy, give him a little run for his money and see how he gets on. But I think he's really strong as well in the tackle. So I think even if, like, Van Dijk does it, like, he stands off, doesn't he? And then they run, and he kind of just leans in and uses his pace and strength. So I think he'll do that quite a lot. And he's tall, big fella, and he's got an eye for goal from our corners. So it's I can't wait for today.
Well, just obviously, just one last thing before we go, just touching on the other positions, Mick. I want to talk about the strike force today. Massive performance needed from Sadio Mane for me. Yeah,
I agree. He's one of many affected by the whole injury scenario, but it still doesn't detract from the fact that he knows that he needs to do better. Like, he's the quality that he is, he's the best left winger in the world for me, and the fact, like, we expect such high levels, so when he dips, it's more noticeable. So, I mean, he'll know it. Salah's the same. I mean, Salah's still got 16 goals this season, but yet we're still saying, oh, we need this front three to sort themselves out. But I think Firmino's done well in patches, hasn't he? And so same for Mane. Salah's done the same, but he seems to still get the goals, albeit I think 6 of them have been pens. But yeah, well, Mane likes it all against Leicester, doesn't he? So let's hope he fucking bags one today. And when that front three are firing, we're sound. That's the thing. And now we've got a recognised quality centre back, albeit alongside Hendo. I'm hoping the team will be a little bit more fluid today, and that should help the front three, because that's what it's all about in terms of fluidity with the Klopp team. So that should help them.
Super, mate. Tomo's just come in. Hiya, Tomo, lad. Afternoon, boys. Is it just me? Is it a horrible feeling again if we don't know what team performance we will get? I haven't felt like this of you. Do you know what? Before you came on, we've had 14 minutes of positivity, and now you just put thoughts in my head, Tomo. Sick of it. No, we were feeling like that yesterday, weren't we? We were just a bit like, ugh. I can't be asked again with another fucking. But Tomo, you are right. We haven't felt like this in years, but you've got to remember, obviously, the situation we're in as a team and the injuries and all that sort of stuff. But this could be the turning point with another centre back partnership that might actually get us to 3 points, which would be fucking beautiful. Especially with it being a 6-pointer, we fucking need to win today. But we go above them on goal difference, which will be amazing. Nice little cement. And then before we've got Leipzig next week and then the derby next week, which is just going to be fucking outrageous. So yeah, so we will see what happens, and absolutely, Tomo, fingers crossed. Thanks for everybody for joining us. We'll be obviously back after the game. Thanks for joining us, mate. Dan, as always, and Tomo, we appreciate everybody else who's been watching. I've been Jay, that's been Mick, and see you in a bit.